Welcome to the Chinoiserie Dress tutorial. Some things that you will need are elastic, your pattern, some scissors, some tape, and your fabric of choice. Jumping into the paper pattern assembly. I tried to make this pattern pretty easy on the tape, as a lot of tape goes into taping the pattern together. 4 and 5 is the front body and 2 and 3 is the back body, and you can go straight down with individual ones without connecting 3 and 4, if that makes sense. What you'll be doing is cutting the left side of one of the pages off and then taping that together by matching the square. This is what it should look like, and you can pause. And if this was not enough instructions for you, please head over to my Andy hoodie tutorial, which will have more in-depth instructions and timestamps. Cutting out your fabric. Fold your fabric in half and place your pattern on it. These are the scissors I use if anybody would like to know. And then you're just going to cut out your fabric. Make sure that the on the fold side is on the fold. Jumping into sewing, and we're going to start with the sleeve. Begin by folding your sleeve right sides together so the pattern side will be together and the wrong sides will be facing. You're then going to sew a straight stitch along this edge right here, as well as a zigzag stitch. And if you have a serger, please use a serger. It makes it look really clean. This is what it should look like. Then we're going to create a tube at the bottom. So just like hemming a pair of pants or hemming the bottom of a sleeve, we need to create a tube. So we're going to fold 1/4 of an inch up. Then we're going to fold 1/2 of an inch up and iron that down. This is what it should look like, and that is where you're going to be sewing your straight stitch all the way around. I like to start right over here because we will be leaving a hole as an entryway for our elastic. Sewing the body. This is a really easy step. You're going to place your back and your front body right sides together, matching up the armpit and the bottom part of the dress. You're then going to sew a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch, or a serge and a straight stitch. I like to serge. And then this is what it should look like once you're done. Sewing the sleeves and the body together. Start by right-siding out your body and your sleeves and finding the U in the armpit of both of them. You're going to then right sides together, attach the side seam and the under armpit seam of the sleeve, sewing up the U shape. Pin in place if needed, and also pin that middle side seam. It is really important that that is together, as if you've cut a little too much fabric, it will mess it up. And this is what it should look like once it's done. As you can see, it looks pretty big and you're like, what? This doesn't look right. But we're going to be putting the elastic in the top as well. So do exactly as you did to the bottom hem of the sleeve, and you're going to roll it 1/4 of an inch and then 1/2 of an inch. Do a straight stitch and leave that hole so that you have an entryway for your elastic to weave all the way through. Hemming the bottom of your dress. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll the bottom of your dress 1/4 of an inch, and then roll that on top of that another 1/4 of an inch, iron, and sew a straight stitch. But I saw a girl named Tegan. She serged the bottom of her dress, then rolled it up just like this, and it is so easy to sew that straight stitch down. It is great. So if you do have a serger, try this out. Cutting and weaving the elastic. So measure around your shoulders with your elastic. Make sure it has a little bit of a give and a tail at the end, because you're going to tie it in a knot. As for the arm, you're going to either cut on your bicep for the short sleeve or the long sleeve around your wrist. So measure that out to where you would want it to be with an extra tail to tie. And then I fold my elastic over before I put my safety pin in, because I don't want it to rip on it as I'm pulling it through. Then you're going to feed it through that hole that you left at the end of your sleeve or the end of your top part of your body, and just pull that all the way through until it gets to the end. When the tails are visible, you're going to tie that knot. And I like to leave a little bit of room, because sometimes when you try it on, it's either too tight or too loose, and then you have to untie it and do it again. But this is what the knot should look like. And then you're just going to let it slip back into the body right there, and do a straight stitch over that after you try it on, because you want it to fit right. Then do the sleeves, and you're all done with the dress. And this is what it should look like. I have made so many of these dresses. This one was a cover of a bottom of a couch, so it had fringe and tassels on it, but the fabric is great. And this one was denim material I found at the thrift store, and somebody definitely used it as a drop cloth. It has paint all over it. This one has a tier at the bottom, and everybody really likes the tier, so I made a video for that, and you can find that next in my channel. Thank you for watching, and if you want to find the pattern, it'll be linked below. Bye!